Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around, we're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Good evening and welcome to Watkins Glen International, where tonight Breaking Bad GT3 takes on one of North America's most iconic, demanding road courses. Watkins Glen is a circuit built on speed, rhythm, and commitment. From the charge into turn 1 to the high-speed S's, the high-V braking zone, and the technical challenge of the bus stop, this track demands precision from every driver in the field. For GT machinery, the balance here is critical. Drivers have to be aggressive through the attack and through the fast sections, but disciplined enough to protect their car through the braking zone and maintain momentum over a full run. At a place like Watkins Glen, one mistake can cost far more than just a single corner. The setting, it's historic. The field, it's ready. The challenge is clear. This is the Breaking Bad GT3 League at Watkins Glen. It's time to go racing. Thank you very much for joining us, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to be here with you. As always, take you from green to checkered flag. On behalf of Maxim Motorsports, want to extend our gratitude to their title sponsorship tonight for all your motorsport needs, go-kart, needs, from engine tuning, dynamics, or even coaching. Reach out to Maxim Motorsports. Tonight's sponsor is going to be RST Construction LLC. Reach out to them at 406-498-0055. We'll talk to them here shortly. Looking at the championship points in the Masters, it was Carl Ross leading by 1,043 in front of Kyle Smith, Javier Sierra, Corey Jones, João Baptista, Clancy Garvin, Cole Malley. And then we have further down the order, David Bush, Wade Morris, Jeffrey Davis. In the pro category, Jed Cotterman, LaShawn Young, Dilworth, Cal Disherm, Jack Clark, Dennis Crosby, Jamie MacArthur, John Voight, Keon Maduro, Roberto Perez, TJ Yankee. In the Pro-Ams, it'll be Oliver Brooks, Francis Perot, Nicholas Paul, Kobe Brooks, Jesse Chase, James Clark, Owen Huffington, Rafael Rodriguez, Chet Miller, and Nicholas Owano. As I said earlier, we are going to talk to the member of RST Construction, and while we have the time, let's go ahead and do so. Ryan Thompson from RST Construction. How are you doing, Ryan? I am living the dream, sir. Ryan Thompson, I assume you're the owner, proprietor, founder of RST Construction?
I am, and it's only employers or employees.
And it's only paid employee at that as well. We don't count the children, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, tell me about your company. Tell me about what you do and what it means to support something that you love and participate in.
Yeah, so I mostly subcontract out as a framer. I actually just got my independent license. I've worked for other people for 15 years in different industries in construction, and just decided it's time to kind of set my own hours. Yeah. But yeah, do some remodeling, but yeah, mostly subcontracting out as a framer. And then, yeah, this league is awesome. I'm one of the slowest guys here, and I still feel welcome every week. I still have a blast hanging out in the back 5 places every week. Yeah.
That's awesome. I come from an electrical background in construction. I was a union electrician, so I know what it's like to be in the trade and to want to set your own hours and be the commander of your own fortune, especially when it comes down to trade work. We're just so good at what we do. Why not take it to the next level, right?
Exactly.
When you become a craftsman and a tradesman at what you do, it's easy to become a salesman, because at that point, you're truly just an artisan after so many hours of what you do. And I'm sure, you know, electricians, we like to say we're the best, but framers, you guys are the masters of art and structure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, tell me one thing you'd like to say or shout out about RST Construction. What is one of your highlight projects that you've completed that you'd like to shout out today?
So right now I'm just doing a lot of back homes, but actually working on my own house, expanding that, because my wife and I have our second son on the way, and we need more room. So
that is an accomplishment in nothing to smirk at. I mean, to be able to work on your own home and be able to expand it, and congratulations. That is an accomplishment in its own right. I'm so happy for you. Ryan Thompson here. Any final shout outs or any final thank yous on the evening, Ryan, before we get underway?
Thank my wife for putting up with this hobby of mine, and then I think both my parents are watching. They tune in most weeks, so shout out to them. And yeah, shout out to Jed and the rest of the team here putting this on every week. I know it's not easy, so. And you guys out there. Usually the next day I'll be working on a project, turn the broadcast on in the background, so.
I'm right there with you. Thank you very much, Ryan Thompson. I'll let you get back to your car as the warm-up concludes.
Thank you.
That was Ryan Thompson from RST Construction. Go ahead and give him a call if you're in the area, 406-498-0055. He'll hook you up, set you up, and expand your home to the standards that you could only expect from an artisan of the trade. As we get ready to rumble, folks, we'll get ready to look at our grid and our lineup going down in towards the first corner. It's going to be tight. It's going to be hectic, but the drivers are well equipped to tackle the challenge. In the first row, it's going to be Corey Jones and Paul Gurney. In the second row, it's going to be Javier Sierra and Jed Cotterman. We've seen them go at it before, and we'll see them do it again. Carl Ross and Clancy Garvin on the third row. Fourth row belonging to Jack Clark and Mark Stewart. A couple of McLarens about to go after it. Row 5 to Dennis Crosby and Kyle Smith. Row 6 now for Kyle Dersham and Jean Voigt. Next up, we have Chet Miller and Doug Betts on row 7. Row 8 belonging to James Clark and Nicholas Paul. Row 9 for Jeffrey Strong and Jesse Chase. Row 10. This time it'll be LaShawn Young-Dillard, Kobe Brooks, lining that 10th row in P20. Frank Perot and Brian Lavrisa in in that 11th row. P21 and P22, P23 and 24 for TJ Yankee and Ryan Thompson, respectively. Row 13 for Owen Huffington and Marshall Darden. Row 15 is for Oliver Brooks and Keon Maduro. And that is going to round out all of our grid tonight. Maduro starting from pit lane. Corey Jones is going to lead us away here tonight. We've seen Corey Jones run away with it before. Paul Garney behind and Javier Sierra. Can he do it again? Time will tell if he claims the top spot tonight or if he'll be victim to the Smurf barriers here at Watkins Glen. As we get ready to rumble for this 3-class matchup, it's still undecided who will claim victory going into the final round. Mathematically, it's still not locked in. The drivers are going to have to contend with each other for the final 2 rounds. Watkins Glen and Daytona for the finale in 1 week's time. Here for the Lights Out GT3 Weekend Showdown, brought to you by Racers Nexus. As we get ready to take the start here, it will be Corey Jones and Paul Garney taking the start. They go. Green, green, green is the flag color in the air. Corey Jones trying to break away with it. 3 cars abreast. Further down, going in towards 1. It'll be tight. It'll be hectic. Going down onto the runoff area wide. Nobody as we stay green and clean. It's absolutely phenomenal racing here tonight. The drivers are putting on a heck of a show as we make it up the hill through the S's. Where will the drama unfold? Will it be here for Corey Jones and Javier Sierra? Going down into the bus stop chicane, the heavy braking zone? No. The drivers make it through pretty green and clean yet again through yet another technical challenge that is presented to them. The Lights Out GT3 weekend continues as we have one driver, Clancy Garvin. No! Clancy Garvin down and out of this race, going back to pit lane, and a meatball flag for Garvin, unfortunately, there. Here's Corey Jones, Javier Sierra, and Paul Garney right now as they make their way up the hill out of the tow. Jed Cotterman, who was down and out last week, unfortunately, from contention, now back up into the mix and trying to challenge for P1 in the championship. Stead lock in fast right now as he looks at the stamp and he sends it going into the final corner, turns into a Beyblade, and the 55 will be collected. No, and it all turns upside down for Jed Cotterman. And exclamation point curse in the comments for every time Sagar Bakshi has cursed a driver. Oh my goodness, we don't even need to see a replay of that. Oh my goodness, I feel so guilty. Jed Cotterman's race is already over in the blink of an eye. I take full responsibility for that one. Here comes Kobe Brooks and Ryan Thompson. Oliver Brooks looking pretty feisty in the wings as well, driving that number 31 AMG, trying to find victory lane tonight. Such is the number 3 of Max Verstappen out on the racetrack, the Windward Racing AMG driving the Nürburgring right now. Here comes Darden. There goes an attack from Nicholas Paul. This is the battle for Pro-Am here and now. The 64 snakes their way through and is going to find a mistake from Paul ahead. Couple of drivers kicking up some of the grass there on the exit of turn 13. Very dangerous to do so because that barrier comes at you very fast. Heavy into the braking zone are these Mustangs, but they're running very well right now. Keeping it calm, cool, collected is the 999 of Frank Perot as he finds the back rear diffuser of TJ Yankee in the 313. Looking further ahead, it's not so patient right now for Chet Miller and Jeffrey Strong, as Chet Miller and Strong are going to go toe-to-toe. Coming down to the bus stop chicane, it's going to be Strong ahead of Miller into the podium battle for the category as well. Brian Lavrisa currently running 17th, driver who started in 17th, picking up the pieces along the way right now and is doing fairly well to do so out here on the racetrack. Got to be pretty content with the way things are going on the good for the evening. Want to give a big shout out to here Javier Sierra, who's been a big contender throughout these races. Currently running in second, started off in third, and Javi has just been running with it tonight. We haven't seen battles necessarily go his way time and time again, but this time tonight, hopefully he can keep it on the tarmac and up the hill through the S's for the 4th time of asking. We go racing. Frank Perot, TJ Yankee, and 2 Mustangs. So Mustang on Mustang violence up the hill through the S's right now. And Frank Perot needs to get through not 1, but 2 of cars that are outside the category in the pros before he can get back to the podium bout with Jeffrey Strong and Chet Miller. He splits 1. Now he has LaShawn Young Dilworth about 0.6 up the road that he has to catch up with now. Further back, Brian Lavrisa, Jesse Chase, James Clark continue their trio. Lavrisa, the meat in the sandwich right now. Stuck in between TJ Yankee and Jesse Chase. Chet Miller leading LaShawn Young Dilworth. Now an attack there from Frank Perot on LaShawn Young Dilworth. Able to get that move done and dusted. Now looking forward, he's going to have to contend with Chet Miller, who's right up the road. Great moves here for the 999 time and time again. Battle up here as they all continue to pop off. The boys here don't know. We still have 52 minutes and 40 seconds left of racing left as Jack Clark challenges the McLaren of Mark Stewart for P2 and P3 in the pro category. Here's Dennis Crosby and the look at Jack Clark up ahead, trying to close down things at the chute. Gets on the loud pedal right now and heads towards the toe. Late on the brakes for both drivers, but I think they're equally matched. The runs out of the toe look pretty good coming down towards the heel. Dennis Crosby has been extremely patient with his run tonight, and I'm sure he'd be happy with a podium bout. That's what he's locked himself into. You can see he's locked in right now and absolutely focused. Slight tilt to the head to follow the car coming through the corners. Find myself doing the exact same thing, especially when I use track IR. I find myself drifting through the corners a little bit more, and it's quite pleasurable. Frank Perot all over the rear wing of Jeffrey Strong and Chet Miller behind. Be a challenge for Miller on Frank Perot. Late on the brakes, but perhaps a little too late there, as Chet might go into deep, just like our favorite band, Sum 41. Manages to avoid track limits and challenges Frank for P3. Late on the brakes goes the American badged car of TJ Yankee. Can he cut through the field? The driver who started in 23rd position, now runs in 14th position. LaShawn Young Dilworth, though, in a side-by-side bout coming down in towards the chute. And he goes late on the brakes here and now and controls the field behind. Great battles here up and down the grid as we come down into the heel here for the 6th time round. Brian Lavrisa still locked into this sandwich between a Ferrari and a Corvette, and we'll have to see what happens to him in the long run. He's been running in 18th for a little while now and patiently waiting for the positions to come his way. Let's ride on board with the Lamborghini and hear how the engine roars as he goes late on the brakes, going down into one. Nearly takes out Jesse Chase, but avoids doing so. Right on board and listen to the sights and sounds of this lovely Lamborghini into the bus stop chicane. Argy-bargy elbows out racing from the drivers around Brian Lavrisa, Jesse Chase, and Frank Perot, and he has the best seat in the house for this battle here and now. Frank Perot leads the trail of Chase. Now it'll be Chase going on Frank Perot. Brian Lavrisa, like I said, has the best seat in the house of this battle for P5 and P6 in the category. coming out of turn 14 and 15. Now Lavrisa with a big slide job. That was a good move on Jesse Chase. Chase tries to return the favor going down and towards turn 1, but the 3-2-3 has no leg to stand on. Here's TJ Yankee, absolutely a lick of the stamp and ascend through the bus stop chicane. He's doing a phenomenal job. Up 9 positions on the grid for the evening right now. Up 4 for the category. Up ahead, Dennis Crosby and Jack Clark continue their battle for P4 and 3 for the category. 6th and 7th overall. John Voight, who's involved in an earlier incident, came down pit road, spent 2 minutes and 50 seconds in the pits. Came back out in front of these drivers. Dennis Crosby in the heat of battle right now and has Kyle Dersham lurking behind. Kyle Dersham has actually been closing down the gap slowly but steadily right now as he waits in the wings behind. Jesse Chase, Brian Lavrisa in a steep battle here at the bus stop chicane. It'll go the way for Chase as Lavrisa dukes it out himself, but skates through with his life. Oliver Brooks running right now in 19th position, up 3 for his category, 8 positions overall gained. And the technically gifted number 31. Great battle here. I want to go on board again with Brian Lavrisa here and listen to the roar, the absolute roar of this Lamborghini. Late again on the brakes, defending back Oliver Brooks in the 31, mounting the exit curbing coming through Watkins Glen's treacherous first corner. We're definitely not using the NASCAR layout, and we're not using the NASCAR rules for track limits either. Up ahead, it will be Frank Perot watching and waiting for a mistake from TJ Yankee, who's up ahead by just a margin of a second. You could throw a blanket over all of these drivers and capture them. 2 seconds, the gap over all of them. Or the spread, I should say. Checking in with the driver here, Paul Garney. He's been quietly running in 3rd place, 1st place for his category right now. Garney has just been silently putting it in lap after lap. The lap times, well, 44.7 being his last, his best being a 44.3. That's pretty darn consistent if you ask me, as he continues to put down excellent times. Frank Perot still in this drag race right now with TJ Yankee, but Yankee is relentless on his run. He's defending hard but fair right now, and Perot has nowhere to go but follow suit up the hill through the S's. There's only one optimum line. Javier Sierra in a steep battle with Paul Garney. Here and now, will Javi Sierra relinquish P2 in the category and P2 overall for a little bit of fuel conservation potentially, so he can close down on Corey Jones, who's seemingly been unstoppable all season long? Three wide coming out of the chute and in through the toe. It'll be tight. It'll be hectic. The drivers are going to try to get through green and clean. It will be Oliver Brooks with Jesse Chase losing out. The 3-2-3 down in 8th position. Oliver Brooks, who's up 10, will not be stopped on his charge to the top. Kobe Brooks, Jesse Chase side by side across the stripe, but it's going to go the way of the technically gifted 333. Dennis Crosby here now with Kyle Dersham coming through the toe and through the boot and into the heel. It will be Crosby who gets the advantage over Kyle Dersham. They need to work together if they want to catch up to Jack Clark, but I don't think Dersham is interested in that at this moment. He's more interested in what Dennis Crosby is holding on to. That's P4. All this battling and defending keeps on bringing drivers into the mix. Doug Betts in the background, driving the number 3 Porsche. The American drivers continue to battle on home turf. Jesse Chase looks like the first driver to make a scheduled pit stop. The 3-2-3 driver comes in a little bit earlier than the halfway point of this event. Up ahead again, it's Dennis Crosby on the ropes. Jack Clark behind now. Big move. There's going to be Kyle Dersham making a leaping bound jump, and he's going to try to attack Crosby ahead in the McLaren, who shakes it off to no problem. Oliver Brooks looks to the inside on Brian Lavrisa. Can't find the door there, so he baits his time. James Clark right now has Owen Huffington in front of him. The Racer 5 machine. Oh, it's a big incident for Dersham. Let's get an instant replay of what happened here. In through the bus stop chicane, over the curb, gets sideways, and that'll be it for the 93. He's going to make a trip down pit road, surely. Oh yeah, big right front damage here for Dersham. And unfortunately, he might be down and out. James Clark all over the rear bumper of Owen Huffington. Now looks to the rear view mirror, looks through the gyro cam at the 101 out in front through the toe. It'll be a better run for the Corvette in front, Owen Huffington. Up 5 positions right now. The door's ajar, and it's going to be the Mach 5 finding the real estate he needed to cut through there. That's a steep move. Cal Dersham, Marshall Darden, LaShawn Young, Dilworth all make their trips into pit lane. Brian Lavrisa chases Kobe Brooks in their battle for 6th and 7th. Lavrisa battling for category right now with Brooks. Dennis Crosby in his battle for P2 still locked in with Mark Stewart. That battle separated by just about half a second. James Clark and TJ Yankee now, who looks to have been involved in an incident. TJ Yankee has some front right damage that is surely slowing him down at this point in time. There it is. Pit stop there for Brian Lavrisa last time around. Lavrisa was slower than Brooks until lap 11. He was 0.3 faster. Frank Perot, the 999 driver, up 2 positions right now and running pretty well. Up 9 overall, 2 just in the category. Has had some steep battles on the evening tonight. This is just the calm before the storm, folks. The pit stop cycle kicks off. Everybody gets spread out a little bit, and then they all start coming together. Black flag for Marshall Darden, unfortunately. That's going to be an infraction for speeding in the pits. It was a little too quick for the steward's liking. 6.42 seconds in the lane, in the stall even, meaning that he just took a splash and dash and headed back out onto the racetrack. Chet Miller in the 007 has Jeffrey Strong in the Ferrari behind him. The Cavalieri Rampanti in the 17 looking pretty snazzy right now. Thought I saw Paul Garney and Javier Sierra battling there for just a second, but it looks like the battle settled down as Javier Sierra is in front of Paul Garney. Checking in with the race leader, Corey Jones, who seemingly has a new angle for us of his rig and a little green friend behind him. That must be akin to Rexy there in the background, but he's not driving a Porsche, so I'm a little confused at why he would have Rexy back there. But we'll talk to Corey Jones after the race, I'm sure, and figure out why he's got a little green monster behind him. Corey Jones right now has been a flawless victory from green to checkered flag. The 3K I-rating driver has led us around the track for 17 times, going around 18 this time by. A little bit of action behind, I believe, Corey Jones as traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. I think that was LaShawn Young Dilworth, as it was, getting involved there. LaShawn Young Dilworth on a different strategy than everybody else right now, has already taken his pit stop. 24 seconds was his time. Crosby, Clark, Betts, and Paul all take the call to come down pit lane. Does Crosby taking that stop? See if we can get a look at Crosby. Yeah, there he is. Crosby taking his pit stop, anticipating when he'll drop and he'll be ready to go. Already turns the wheel to the left-hand side, spins up the rear end, I think he audibly said, wow. 22.8 seconds was the stop for Crosby, so not too shabby of a stop. I think he gets himself a little bit of a leg up on TJ Yankee and Jack Clark, especially on Doug Betts, the number 3, who's down in P12, has a black flag next to his name now, unfortunately. Looking at the battle now between Chet Miller and Jeffrey Strong, it'll be the Corvette driver leading the Ferrari. TJ Yankee here and now going for a move on Dennis Crosby, but Crosby opens the door coming into the chute, and it will go the way for the Yankee. Keon Maduro up the S's alongside Owen Huffington in the background. And Huffington currently in 21st, started back in 25th position. Jeffrey Strong still battling with Chet Miller. This is the battle for the lead in the category as well. The Ferrari chases down the 007. Can he keep up here and now when the time matters most? They still haven't made their pit stops yet, so anything can happen in motor racing. It typically does. Javi Sierra comes down into the pits, and it all pops off for Carl Ross. Also, 24 minutes and 50 seconds remaining on the clock. It's still anybody's ball game going down into the final 25. Javi Sierra, Carl Ross still in the pits. Jeffrey Strong and Chet Miller both decided to stay out, as well as Paul Garney and Corey Jones. Side by side between Strong and Miller, it will be going the way of the Red Bull, who's now up into third place for the category. First place for the category, third place overall. Looking back at Chet Miller from the gearbox of Strong now. Corey Jones, Paul Garney into the pits as well. Here's Garney into the pits. Let's see how he gets off with his stop. He's got traffic to the Lollipop Man. He parks it on the marks. Let's see if he has to back up or not. Looks like he got it pitched perfect. He's going to get jacked up, and he's going to take tires or not. It's going to be the huge desire. Smoke coming out of the 27th place car. That'll be Jed Cotterman's number 7. Corey Jones now, the driver we're going to keep an eye on who's leaving pit lane as well. But here comes Garney, who's still holding on to second place. Where's Javier Sierra? Where's Corey? Where's everybody coming out now? Paul, Garney, Javier Sierra, Carl Ross. In that order, it'll be the 1, 2, 3 punch combo for Jones, Garney, and now Sierra. Here's Jeffrey Strong, steeped in his battle with Oliver Brooks and Chet Miller. Chet Miller in that 007 right now. He had a pit stop of 20.7 seconds, 52.58 in the lane. A really good stop for Miller, but Jeffrey Strong was able to get up the hill and challenge him for P3. Now Oliver Brooks, who had an 18-second stop, clearly did something different than the rest of the field. But will it play to his advantage, or will it be his downfall at the end of the night? Frank Perot coming down the order because he was involved in an incident. Let's get a replay of what happened here to Frank. Coming into the bus stop chicane, Perot looks good until it all unfolds, and it's not. He'll back his thing up into the Smurf barrier, getting a little too familiar with the Smurfs. That'll send Frank Perot back to the pits, unfortunately, for the end of his bout. Chet Miller chasing Jeffrey Strong into the sunset here in Watkins Glen, New York. A track length of 3.4 miles or 5.5 kilometers. It was founded in 1956, unchanged since 1971. Although some track maps and drivers will call it 11 corners, others will call it 15. I'll let you be the judge of it. 6 to the left, 5 to the right, technically. And going down to the final 19 and a half minutes of this race. Things are starting to get a little spread out and quiet. Drafting plays a massive role here at the Glen, especially down the back straight after the bus stop. We expected, and we had, plenty of slipstream battles tonight, especially out of turn 1, up the hill, through the S's, and into the bus stop chicane early on in this race. Checking in with Garney again as Javi Sierra closes down his charge for P2. Garney looks focused and unfazed right now by the charging cars behind. I think he understands that this one, well, it's not for position in the category, so he's not too hesitant to give it up. P2 overall always feels better at the end of the night. Take a look at the lap times from the drivers last couple times around between Jones, Garney, and Sierra. Garney was faster on lap 19, and Sierra actually faster than the trio on lap 23. "17 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the clock tonight. And the 1, 2, 3 right now for overall looks like Corey Jones, Paul Garney, and Javier Sierra. Right now in class, it's Corey Jones, Javier Sierra, Carl Ross. For the pros, it's Paul Garney, then Mark Stewart, and then Dennis Crosby. For Pro-Am, Nicholas Paul, Oliver Brooks, and Jeffrey Strong. Couple of drivers have unfortunately been down and out this race. Jed Cotterman early on, Frank Perot, Marshall Darden, Jesse Chase. We've had a few major incidents take place, mostly self-inflicted ones. This is week 9 of this championship bout, going into the finale of week 10 at Daytona. It'll be exciting to see who can come out on top at the World Center of Racing. Just when you thought things were calming down and we could take a breath of fresh air, talk a little bit about the history of the racetrack and what's going on here. It's Chet Miller here to cause some disturbance in the force. Chet Miller right now looks at the toe, and in front of him, it's going to be Jeffrey Strong holding on to P3. Doug Betts behind in the number 3 Porsche. He's running in 6th place and doesn't really have a leg to stand on here to get through the traffic in front of him. I believe he was given a black flag earlier on and had to climb through the order one more time. James Clark, Jesse Chase goes defensive across the stripe, but yields the position there and doesn't put up too much of a fight. Up ahead, different story. Jeffrey Strong, Chet Miller, and Doug Betts. This trio will probably bring it home across the stripe with just tenths separating them. Doug Betts looking for an open door, coming into the till. No, meatball flag for Brian Lavrisa. Not what we wanted to see. See if we can get a replay of what happened to Lavrisa here. Driver who is running so well tonight, comes through the bus stop, probably hits that curb a million times like he's hit it before. This time it's just a little bit different. Chet Miller, Doug Betts still locked in with each other right now. But I think Doug Betts is being a little bit more cautious and careful with Miller, understanding that he's got a battle ahead of him, but patient no longer as he goes for a move, slingshots himself out of the S's. John Boyd comes down pit road. I believe that'll be his third pit stop of the evening. Keon Maduro starting from pit road, so that number next to his name looking a little bit skewed, as it should only be 2 stops. Jeffrey Strong, Doug Betts. Now, as Betts tries to get around Strong, it'll be a defensive line from Strong to try to not lose enough time coming through turn 1 to allow Chet Miller to catch back up. Side by side up the hill through the S's. This is where things get a little bit dangerous. We're talking about high risk, high speed moves here. And now the drivers are going to challenge each other as much as possible. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell here at Racers Nexus to get notifications for when we go live next. Now, where does Chet Miller find himself? Right behind Jeffrey Strong all over again. We all know catching is one thing, passing is a whole nother ball game. Look at the beautiful sunset here in the New York hills. Watkins Glen is definitely on my bucket list of places to go and racetracks to visit. Little mistake there in the background from Chet as he comes out of 13. Gets a little wiggly there. We'll have to keep an eye on the lap times. Strong leading Miller, leading Clark currently. Paul Garney wiping the sweat from his brow. Black flag for Marshall Darden. I believe that'll be the second black flag for Darden of this race. Taking a look here at Garney again. The Javi Sierra behind. He was just wiping his brow and the sweat coming off of his face. I know what that feels like, especially when you've been pedal to the metal for an hour straight. These types of events, these types of leagues are absolutely phenomenal for drivers that are trying to get training for endurance league running. Practice your pit stops, practice low fuel loads, practice extra tire wear. It allows you to really come to grips when it comes down to a 2 hour, a 4 hour, a 6 hour. You build up to those 24-hour events. If you want to do it right, unlike me, I jumped into a 24-hour event, my first event, and I inherited a triple stint. So Hopefully these drivers aren't as fatigued as doing a triple at Le Mans, but Watkins Glen sure does claim lives. We've seen a couple drivers get claimed here at the Glen. John Voight, Brian Lavrisa, TJ Yankee, Kobe Brooks, Jed Cotterman, and Clancy Garvin. Unfortunately, they have been down and out. Seemingly Nicholas Paul being the next driver to get caught up in an incident. The number 64 comes through the chute, goes out wide, and that will conclude the running of their suspension properly. Javier Sierra running in third position, still chases down Paul Garney for P2. This is going to be the closest battle on track. Couple of fun facts about the track as LaShawn Young, Dilworth, and James Clark seemingly exchange positions. Watkins Glen actually hosted Formula One racing at one point in time, believe it or not, from 1961 to 1980, making it one of the most historic circuits in American road racing. Of course, up there with Indianapolis. Since its inception, the circuit has been a staple of NASCAR road racing since 1986. Many drivers say that the Glen is one of the most European-feeling tracks in the United States due to its flow and elevation changes. Marshall Darden still has that black flag penalty, and I wonder if he's going to serve it. The driver currently running in 19th position. We've seen Darden duking out with a lot of the field tonight, but unfortunately for Darden, has made three trips down pit lane, and this time will be the fourth. There it is. Darden serves his pit stop in the closing stages of this race. Nothing is safe. Nothing is secure. James Clark challenges LaShawn Young Dilworth for P7 and 8 in their category. LaShawn Young Dilworth trying to defend coming out of the final corner. That's to no avail. The chase is on. The overspeed is there. James Clark presents himself there on the outside line coming through turn 1. But the inside line is there for LaShawn Young Dilworth. As we run up the hill through the S's, who's going to come on top? It's going to be close if this is the last lap or not at the end of the day. Will LaShawn Young Dilworth get a chance to snap back at James Clark in the closing stages, or have the tire wear been too high for LaShawn Young Dilworth? Javi Sierra still chasing down Paul Garney. Here's Corey Jones. Like I said, it was going to be close getting to the line. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Barney, the flag man, has the checkered flag out for the field. But it's going to be up to Corey Jones to accept it. The tall, high step of the podium with Garney in P2 for the overall. And then Javi Sierra for P2 for the category, third overall. Carl Ross in third position, fourth overall. Mark Stewart in second. Dennis Crosby in third. Jack Clark, Kyle Dersham, Oliver Brooks claiming the win in his category for the Pro-Am. Doug Betts in 10th place overall. Jeffrey Strong in 11th. Chet Miller in 12th. And then James Clark in 13th. 14th for LaShawn Young Dilworth, Jesse Chase, Keon Maduro, Owen Huffington, Ryan Thompson, Marshall Darden, Kyle Smith, Nicholas Paul, Jean Voigt, Frank Perot, Brian Lavrisa, TJ Yankee, Kobe Brooks, Jed Cotterman, and then Clancy Garvin. Waiting for the final few to cross the line as Barney furiously waves the flag for us, and we'll get the results populated and posted here in just a moment. As we take a look at the results, it will be Oliver Brooks who took the win in the GT3 Pro-Am category, with Jeffrey Strong and Chet Miller running the 1, 2, 3. Oliver Brooks being the hard charger and having the fastest lap, as well. For the pro finishing order, it was Garney, Mark Stewart, and then Crosby, the 1-2-3 punch there. But the hard charger award going to Keon Maduro, who gained 19 positions. In the Masters, it went to none other than Corey Jones for Get Good Endurance Team. Javier Sierra close, but no cigar for him in P2 with Carl Ross in third. As we get ready to talk to the drivers, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to everybody watching live now or in the future. You guys have really put on an amazing show for us time and time again. Let's talk to none other than Corey Jones, who took the win for the category. It will be another flawless victory, as they say. Mr. Corey Jones, how are you feeling in victory lane?
Feeling a lot better towards the end there. It was tires were going off, but I looked after them in the first part, so that made it a bit easier towards the end there.
Now, I don't mean to speak about a man who's not here to defend himself, but Javi Sierra continues to be no slouch in his own right. And I think he's getting a little bit of confidence as the gap has continued to come down in his chase behind you. Did he put on enough pressure to make you wear down those tires, Corey?
Yes and no. The first couple laps, definitely. Because I was hoping that Paul sort of got in front of him, since we were both get good drivers, and then we can both look after our tyres. But he got in front, so I sort of wanted to eke out a little bit of a gap there, so I could just manage what I could do in my laps. And then towards the middle part, I saw how close Paul was. And I wanted to just eke it out a little bit more, just get him out of my draft. To help or aid Paul to help get close enough and pass him eventually, which was good.
Absolutely, and the team strategy definitely worked out in the end of the day for the Get Good team. Now, I do have a question, and this might be an uncomfortable one, so I'm sorry if this makes you uncomfortable, Corey Jones. What's with the dinosaur behind you? I gotta know.
It was a where is it? There he is. Yeah, he's that's my Rexy. Technically my dog. But yeah, this is where he sleeps from now on. Because my dog likes to chew fluffy things and eat them, so he stays behind me now as my emotional support dinosaur.
That is awesome. But how come you're not in a Porsche then? Next season.
I love front engine cars. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank Corey Jones on another victory tonight as we head into the finale?
Once again, I'd like to shout out Get Good. A good showing from myself, Paul, as well as Jack Clark. I think he finished 4th in the pro class.
Yes.
And he looked very, very, very strong in practice and everything like that. So hopefully he can continue on, and all three of us can be at the front one day.
Hopefully so. Thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate you, Corey Jones. Thank you. Have a great night, and most importantly, make sure you stay safe out there.
Always. Thank you, boys.
Next up, we have Paul Garney, who we want to talk to next. It will be Paul Garney, who had a steep fight tonight with none other than Javi Sierra. Now, Garney, talk to us about your bout in the Get Good team with Javi Sierra tonight, and a pretty clean running for the most part.
Yeah, it was fun. He got in front of me right off the bat. I qualified P2. He had the inside. So I just kind of stuck back and kind of watched how he drove and tried to find out. I noticed that I had some more pace going to the bus stop, and after about 4 or 5 laps, I could tell that he was kind of cooking his tires a bit. Some of the mistakes, he was making, which were minor, but enough to tell me that he was overheating them. So I was like, all right. So I used bus stop and carousel, turn 5, and got the run going into the blue hairpin, and that sealed the deal. I did end up having a malfunction in my pedals going into the final corner, but I ended up passing them to the pit, so I jumped them and I just kept them behind. So that was the focus.
It worked out well for you, Paul Gurney. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on the victory tonight as we head into the finale at Daytona?
Yeah, it was Corey. I would say Corey Jones. Him and I race all the time together on the same endurance team. I'm a GTP driver at heart, but having him in front of me kept me motivated, kept me pushing. And him and I were extremely close in lap time, so I was just hoping I could catch him. But didn't end up doing it at the end of the day, but it was fun, and that's what matters. We had fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me, Paul Gurney. Have a great night and stay safe, my friend.
Thank you. Likewise.
Last but not least, it looks like we have Jeffrey Strong in the broadcast booth as well. Jeffrey Strong, who ran the number 17 tonight in the Ferrari. Do you have a copy, Jeffrey?
I can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening, Jeffrey. Now talk to us about your race. It was quite a heated battle driving that Red Bull Verstappen.com badged car to victory lane.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Chet. Him and I were going at it for a while. Lost focus in a couple of laps and had to refocus and find my way. But this is a track I enjoy quite a bit.
It's a great track. It's, some would say, a glorified oval with how round it is and how flat out it is. I mean, I consider it almost the Monza of the United States because you're flat out for nearly 80% of it. It's very fast. We see a very good dodge from you as Jed Connerman was right in front of you. Talk to us about that for just a moment.
Yeah, that must have been coming out onto the front straight and the car was sideways, and I didn't know if I was going to clear it or not. I was thankful I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, any big highlights or any big moments from this race other than the one we just saw in the replay?
No, I was just trying to click off the laps and pace myself and maintain focus. I was definitely having some struggles. I raced VR. I had some fogging moments, and that can be distracting at times.
Absolutely. I used to race in VR, so I know exactly what it's like as well. The challenges are steep, but the comfort and the immersion is unlike anything else, that's for sure. Now, Jeffrey Strong, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank the rest of my competitors tonight for a clean night of racing, and look forward to seeing you guys at Daytona next week.
That is a great shout out. Jeffrey Strong, thank you so much. Have a great night, brother. And most importantly, stay safe out there.
Take care. Have a good night.
Jeffrey Strong, ladies and gentlemen, for us. That's going to wrap things up, folks. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag as always. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. This was round 9 at Watkins Glen, the boot configuration. I've been your host on the mic and commentary, doing all the pictures for you. Track cams have been brought to you by Track Cams for Gourmet. If you like what you see, check out Racer's Nexus Broadcast to book us for your next event. Thank you, folks. Have a great night. And most importantly, as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Goodbye for now.